thank you very much for being here. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Montega, Montaga. That is Montega, Montaga. There is only one Montega. There is only one America. There is only one you. And again, thank you for unplugging from the Matrix here with me. The show will start in just a moment. Due to adult language, themes, and images, I'm gonna warn you, don't have your children around. Please don't let your children hear the language. Please, viewers' discretion is advised. I gave you a warning. Now let's get into the show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because somewhere around the world it is truly what time it is, and I am your host, the dopest political analyst on this planet, and the most fed former congressional and senatorial candidate of these United States. Antone Tucker, Tony Montega, Tone Montega, Montega, Tony X, the truth, the threat, the legend, Neo, the wisest man in the room, and I'm here with you, and we all free. From the Matrix. I want to say thank you very much for being here today. Today, I'm going to give you a show that just may trigger you. If you're a part of the MAGA movement, if you are one of the most incredible human beings in American history, this is a time where vindication is upon us. I know a lot of people say often, nothing is never going to happen. And I don't think people really understand the nature of things. Today's show is very early, and I'm going to do this because maybe this show may go longer than half an hour. I am going to play a few things, but before we get into it, I would just like to be able to have an open discussion with you. Everybody said you're an election denier, because all of these people were in on the hoax. What this whole thing has exposed, ladies and gentlemen, is this whole thing has been a show. One big production. Hollywood is going under. Why is Hollywood going under? Well, because Hollywood is not making movies. Well, why can't they make any movies? They're not funded anymore by USAID. That's why. Because the CIA is no longer running to Hollywood with scripts in order to desensitize us and tell us a bunch of frivolous things. They're no longer taking our tax dollars and paying for us to be entertained and constantly triggered over and over and over again. They don't have the money to do it. This administration has exposed a lot. And there are a lot of people who have issue with this, and my thing is, sometimes you need to have enemies close, and sometimes you have to deal with the friends that you have because it's what you have. As citizens of this country, our responsibility is to make sure that the children are going to have a future. We've allowed these people to remove our ability to parent our children. We've allowed these people the power to tell us they can transition our children, and we can't do anything about it. We allowed these people to tell us we had to stay in our homes, and that a virus that came from a monkey was killing everybody, when it was these people who created it and had the so-called shot afterwards and forced everybody in compliance, used an incredible propaganda apparatus, which was the legacy media, as well as people who call themselves new media, as well as these so-called talk shows like The View and others, who regurgitated the same thing over and over and over again. Children lost their lives because of it. And they knew it. And they don't care. They were paid to continue to lie to you. People are upset at me and angry at me because I told them, oh, the system is not racist. It's like saying a car's racist. It's like saying a gun is racist. Call me all type of coons, but no one wanted to say, well, what is it? What are you saying? Well, I'm telling you that a great deal of so-called black people are in Congress right now in that same system that you were calling racist. First, it's impossible for it to be racist and have these same people elected to sit in those seats to represent you. You can't tell me they can't do nothing about it. They create and write the laws. They're supposed to be in everyone's district, which is the areas that you guys live in, and they're supposed to be listening to your grievances to make it better so they can actually get things done there. But it's not. It's a charade ran by all of these people who get to live way better lives than you and I. So as long as they are great at lying to you and me, so as long as they're charismatic enough to carry a storyline and then have you, it don't have to be you and I. So as long as it's over 40% of the people, if they can carry that charade on, they'll get elected. Look at Zoran Mondani. They just have to lie to you well enough so you believe them. And then the machine can do everything else. And if they have a horrible time lying to you, they have a horrible time displaying regular characteristics of a normal human being, then they'll do shit like they did with Kamala Harris and Waltz. And they'll run them down your throats. They'll tell you that this very abnormal, out of shape, unhealthy man is a man's man. They'll tell you that a man who you know for a fact couldn't defend himself if he was alone walking down the street was what they gave you as a representation of a man's man, then we both know. They're making this shit up. And used all of their media apparatuses to regurgitate the same lie. We told you guys the 2020 election was stolen. And up until this last election, no one could tell you or say it online because we were censored. I was censored for 2 years on Instagram. I still can't go live because of something that I didn't even do. They made up a reason from a post that had over 7 million views on it. I just reposted it in my story. They gave me a flag and said, well, you can't go live for 1 year. And before that, it was a story. I was doing a live on Instagram and said, this is ran by the CIA and the FBI. As soon as I got off the live, couldn't go live for a whole year. They said it's because I posted something which showed a man with his shirt off and a woman. Didn't show anything inappropriate at all. Nothing ever inappropriate. I got a strike on Instagram because I was shirtless and they told me it body shamed people. I didn't say anything in the comments to discourage anybody whatsoever. I was actually happy with where I was, you know, as far as my I don't want to say, the trans word at all. So as long as I was happy of my physique, how far along I came. So I just took a picture, that's it. That's all it was. And they gave me a strike for that too. Because people who spoke up and told you that this election was stolen, I ran for Congress. And people laugh, and they laugh at me and they say, well, why did you run? Are you laughing? Instagram made it, and Twitter at the time made it where you couldn't mention my name while I was running a political campaign. I'm probably still blocked by the FBI on Instagram. Literally, the FBI blocked me on Instagram from mentioning them. I can't make this up. And as soon as I did the live and said the FBI and the CIA runs these platforms, they didn't let me do it again. And now it comes out, what happened? The CIA and the FBI were running the platforms. Mark Zuckerberg was just a facial structure that was there, running the day-to-day operations, but it was a backdoor group of individuals that told him what the motive of operation really was. They deplatformed the President of the United States of America and knew there would be no recourse. They allowed other individuals and other nations like China to not only interfere in this election, and if this is proven, everything that China has here, everything that we're supposed to owe them, we're not paying them nothing at all. If there's ever been a time for us, listen, I don't care what people say that don't want war. This is one country I beg to have war with. This is the one country I feel like we have tolerated their shit so much. It's beyond comprehension. The world banking system was going to call in on all the debts of the United States of America. The so-called leaders that are here enriched themselves and had enough wealth and interest abroad as well as on the stock exchange that had they sacked the whole entire system, it really wouldn't have mattered much, because after they would have sold off so much, they would have had control still of certain areas. This whole new world order thing was about breaking the country. No, they cannot come in here. They try through everything to take your firearms. It's been their goal from day one. Don't want you to have silencers because they don't want the enemy to come here and not hear where them shots is coming from. They don't want the most dangerous nation in the world to have the most dangerous armed individuals, so they also keep you sick. And then they take all of your money to fund the lie around you, keeping you imprisoned mentally and physically. And they fund the whole entire world in a global order of control. Constant division. What's happening in front of you, and you don't have to believe me, but I've been right about almost everything that I've said. And I told you they was going to go in here. And I told you they was going to get them people who stole the election. And I told you a real investigation takes around 18 months. Nobody want to listen because everybody wanted everything instantaneously. Nobody understood that if you don't have it concrete, the same apparatus that had the whole country hating this man and calling him a racist, we've used the same tactics and techniques to call him a liar. When they went to Venezuela, they went and got that man and his wife. That man is here, and that man has been letting them know, like I told you in the prior show, that they helped to steal the 2020 election. Now, this lady here, this is why I'm so upset. This is the reason why I had to talk about the system and racism, because this is going to be a black woman that I'm going to put up here. And for money and for material gain, this should be, it be breaking my heart, man. It's like nobody decent, B. I've seen some bad, horrible things in my life. And for all of me, I can't understand why these people don't care about the millions of people that they doing this shit to. Whether you lying to 1 million plus people to come in here, and you know for a fact it's gonna affect the citizens that's here, predominantly the black people that's here. You are okay with it. Y'all championing the destruction of your people who y'all grew up with. You don't even care about their kids. So as long as you don't have to go back there. Because the thing that's been revealed about all of this is that the majority of people who sit in those seats are not people that we put there. And what we have to stop doing moving forward is accepting whatever the machine tell us is adequate for us. We got to go by the people who have the track record of not being part of the machine. We have to believe that we can push people up there because we've discovered this. If you haven't, I don't know where you've been. We got a voice more powerful than anything ever in existence. We can decide what the future really gonna be like. They was gonna break this up. Let China create provinces here. Why do you think they flying balloons over? They was taking photographs of everything. They was gonna call in all the debts. Have so many people here, they would sack the system. Push communism. That's why Mandani Vagini, he was already planned to go and be there. He was already doing little things during Eric Adams' administration, begging for him to spend more money on illegals. And they're crying and telling you there's $1 billion shortfall when that's a lie. They left him an $8 million surplus. They brought all these people here who don't love you, man. Who don't understand the American way and process. And I know a lot of people may be angry. Shit, I am too. But you have to come to the realization that everybody is getting robbed. Everybody is getting poisoned. Everybody is getting scammed. It is not just one particular group of people, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. You're all still trapped. It's like everybody else. This woman here, man, it's just really just breaks my heart, man. Like, for real, y'all. She's going to sit here and she's going to talk about something. And then I'm going to go right to what she's going to talk about. Because, well, I'm a man's man. So we're going to play this real quick. And for those of you watching on X, you can go to the link that I posted on X and you can see the show in entirety so you can actually hear what I'm putting on the screen. But I will be playing. This is not it's the wrong clip. Hold on. I'm going to be playing the new county commissioner from Georgia, and I'm going to refute the things that she's saying. And I'm going to do it with facts and logic. And then I'm going to talk about how despicable she's not a human to me. She's a dog. Listen, if someone has nothing to hide and the FBI came to raid the offices that's there, why would you say things indirectly like, I don't know where the stuff is going to go or what's going to happen to the stuff? You know, the election ballots or boxes. We don't know where they're going to put in it. They're going to get the copies that they created. The copies that don't have the watermarks. They're going to get the copies that they created. The over 300,000 of them. And then they're going to do this beautifully. Let me explain to you something. They're going to get the ballots. They're going to get the fraudulent ones. They're going to run all of these papers through a software which will pick up the fingerprints. Yes, the fingerprints. And if any of the prints found are people who are in the polls, it's going to be pretty much the same group of individuals with the same set of fingerprints. I can talk freely now. Let's just have a conversation. They're gonna be able to match fingerprints on those fraudulent ballots. There aren't going to be many. They're going to find out who printed them. They're going to find out who shoved them through. And they're going to find out who collected them in the pile. They're going to have all the fingerprints. Because the thing about the ballots is not many people touch them. Not even every ballot worker who is there touches all of the ballots. It's people at certain stations. This is going to be something incredible. Let's go ahead and break down this dog.
Hundreds of boxes at the election Fulton County officials say the FBI made a surprise execution of a criminal search warrant swarming the elections hub for nearly 8 hours. We have team coverage for you this afternoon. Atlanta News First, Patrick Quinn joins us now live from Fulton County, where we just heard from county leaders. Patrick, they took 700 boxes of documents, including sensitive information.
That's right, and Chairman Rob Pitts here in Fulton County with some strong words for the federal government, some strong words against
So this isn't the lady yet. This is one of their elected officials that's there. I'm gonna talk about him first. I'm gonna let him go first.
Trump. He was joined by Sherry Allen. She's the elections board chair here in Fulton County, as well as the county attorney. There's a lot of follow-up we're looking into about what exactly happened yesterday at Union City at the elections hub. Those 700 boxes taken. Now, Fulton County today, they said that they did comply with the FBI. They said it.
And also, DHI Tulsi Gabbard is also there too, because they're doing forensic sweeps on the machines, and just to show that the software was uploaded on the machines. So they're also there doing forensic overhauls on the machine too. I told you guys months ago. I remember I left for X when I said Dominion's gonna have to pay Fox their money back, and a lot more money. It's because these people stole the 2020 election. That's why. In order for the FBI to go in there, you would have to have some understanding that a great deal of their cases are always people, 90% of the convictions are people who plead guilty because they already have the snitches. They already have the snitches. That's why there's a criminal warrant to go in there and take this, because they have snitches already. That's why.
Strategically was the right move for the county, but as of right now, they don't know where these documents are, and they don't know exactly what was taken. That's the concern from Fulton County leaders is, where are these documents and what will they be used for? They did say today that they are considering hiring outside legal counsel to see what legal measures they can take now to get those documents back, or at least be a part of the surveillance of these documents. Take a listen to what Chairman Rob Pitts just said. Again, strong words for the federal government with a direct rebuke to President Donald Trump.
And the president himself to stay the hell out of Fulton County. I meant it then, and I mean it today. As long as those documents were here in Fulton County, in our elections hub, under our care, I was.
First thing I wanted to show you is this black guy right here, Rob Pitts. Rob Pitts is the Fulton County chairman, and he ought to be ashamed of himself because he was a part of the most heinous actions that we've had happen in this country. And this SOB is sitting there with this woman, and they know that they're guilty. They know exactly what they did. They know exactly what they're responsible for. They know exactly what they participated in. And what I'm trying to show all of these black folks out here, all the black folks who are pro-black, I am pro-black. So I have to show you the lies that they are giving you. I got to show you the reason why nothing never works is because the same black folks that sit up there and grandstand in front of you and tell you how they fighting for the people are purposely making sure nothing never works. They're making sure that you are weaker. They're making sure that you are more feminine if you're a man. They're making sure you're more masculine if you're a woman. They're making sure you live a lot shorter. They're making sure that you do not have kids. They're making sure that you cannot save money. They're making sure that anyone else is put before you because, no, there cannot be an advancement of you because they're trying to destroy the country. All of this money that these people spent just on the illegals alone could have changed every road in this country. With all of that money, you know how many mothers could have had free health care? You know how many, at least elderly people, could have had some free health care? They gave away billions of dollars. And not just to the people that came here, they've been giving it away everywhere.
Confident that they were safe and secure. Once they left that facility last night in those FBI trucks, I don't know where they are now. I don't know who has them.
You know who has them. He knows the FBI has them. He knows that they're with the FBI. And for him to even insinuate that somehow something bad is going to happen because the feds now have it, it means that he knows he's guilty, in my opinion. That's why. They're going to deflect. Or something, I don't know what's going to come from this and then that. No, the same thing like the Somalians, where someone came and broke through the door and just stole nothing but the files and records and nothing else.
I don't know what they're doing with them? Are they opening the boxes? Are they stuffing other ballots in there? I have no clue. I can use my imagination.
Use your imagination to know that you could be going to prison. Use your imagination of what it's going to feel like to be on that hard ass bunk, and they don't care how old you are. You're disgusting. Sold out everybody. People who look like you, people who don't look like you, little babies who look like you, little babies who don't look like you. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. No, they went there with a warrant because the snitches told them where it's at. And all you people been sitting there enriching yourselves, going to these steakhouses, all these women going to go get all these wigs so they could just sit them on their heads, parade around here like they got, like this is black excellence, when this is just selling out while black. These little real coons are, man. You say what you want about me. I in no way, shape, or form do I have the ability to change your life at all. But I swear to God on my life, if I had the ability to change your life, whether you hate me or not, I swear on my life, I would try my best to make your life better. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I would. I know what it feel like to feel down and out. I know what it feel like to feel horrible. I know what it feel like to be hated. I know what it feel like to be lonely. I know what it feel like to be alone. I know, and I would never want that shit for nobody else. And I don't care. I don't care. And I didn't have to get rich for me to decide that that's how I wanted to be. I was like that, and that's how I ended up becoming rich. See how that works? I was to a point where I didn't want to see nobody hurting or feeling like I felt. So I just in no way, shape, or form tried to bring that energy around anybody or wanted to make anybody feel that way in any way, shape, or form. Because damn, if everybody who's in power that look like us shit on us every single day, why am I going to add to that? I'm just as unhappy as you are. Because the shit ain't working. And then you're wondering why. They're stealing everything from us. And all of them are basically puppets because they don't want to go back there. Get a taste of steakhouses, imported wine, fancy European threads. And they changed their minds about trying to uplift the people that are in these communities. If they wanted them to look better, they would look better. All of that money, there would be no impoverished areas here. We'd be a dominating country in every way, shape, or form. Do you remember how you should look how our grandparents looked? Go look at the men and women of the 50s and look at the beaches. And look how everybody was in shape. It doesn't matter how much coin you have in the bank. They're still giving you a poison. A bunch of them. And then you tell me, I eat organic, but then you jump on your social media pages and then you go in there and you're going in there and they're still feeding you poison. Still feeding you poison. Now let me go ahead and go to this creature. So let's go in on this.
Popping up this video for you on your screen as FBI agents executed a search warrant Wednesday at the Fulton County Elections Office near Atlanta. A spokesperson for the agency said that agents were, quote, executing a court-authorized law enforcement action at the county's main election office in Union City, just south of Atlanta. There are a lot of thoughts and feelings on all of this here. I do want to bring in Commissioner Mo Ivory of Fulton County, Georgia, to discuss all of this. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. And first off, I just kind of wanted to ask you here your thoughts overall about the situation playing out there, because you have been vocal that you're not quite sure this was the correct action.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
Sure. I mean, we were served with a warrant yesterday, and the FBI showed up to secure the 2020 ballots and documents that have been archived for several years now.
Now, what's important for us to understand is this. Her method of deflection is going to be, why not audit all the elections? Why not audit this election? Why? Because you won? No. Because we have proof that the 2020 election was stolen. Because you told us that Joe Biden got 80 million votes and got more votes than Barack Obama got. That's why. You're telling us that sleepy Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Sorato. You're telling us that. No, man. No. You're telling us that. But I'm going to tell you why we know for a fact. It's a lie. She's a liar. We got the clips too.
Now, and so it was quite a surprise to our workers who come to work every day in Fulton County to administer our elections, to make sure that all folks in Fulton County, all voters have easy process to vote. And you can imagine that they are getting ready for all that we have coming in 2020.
Y'all didn't hear that.
With primaries on.
If y'all saying, because this is what they're going to say, right? They're telling their voters to come and vote. If that's the case, if you're telling your voters to come and vote, you're telling your voters it's the safest place, why is the FBI there? It's because the snitches told the FBI. That's why.
On May 19th and the general election in November. So it was quite a surprise when the FBI showed up.
What information, if any, did county officials get?
It was a surprise because they didn't tell them. Because they didn't want anyone to try to interfere, try to do something in some way. Because why when they sued for it, why would you try to stop them then? What do you have to hide? Why shouldn't the federal government be able to audit the ballots? We'll get to why.
From the federal authorities before that search warrant was executed.
Well, we didn't get any information. We have some pending cases right now over these documents, which were due to come up, a civil case due to come up on February 9th, where the judge would be deciding whether or not to unseal these documents in a proper format where they would then be copied and, the procedure of reviewing those documents would happen. But it seems that they could not wait until that civil case was happening, and instead a criminal warrant was issued to come and pick up those very documents that were due to be discussed.
No, what happened was they tested you to see if you would try to stop them from getting the ballots, and so they just put in a simple way of suing you. The whole entire time there was still an investigation that they were building. This is how the FBI works. It's a jab, and then they hit you with the right hand.
In that civil case.
Did you have a chance to look at the search warrant in any way? Did they let you see it? And if so, what did it say?
I did see the search warrant. And it said that, they were there to get the 2020 ballots. At first, the first search warrant was procedurally incorrect. It was to the Registrations and Elections Office and documents that have been in the archives for several years. Remember, we're talking about documents from 6 years ago that had already been archived. She
continues to say 6 years ago. 6 years ago. It was important. It was stolen 6 years ago. Sorry, guys. Hold on. It's important. It was stolen 6 years ago. 6 years ago, it was stolen. So it's important.
Archived documents are in the hands of our clerk of Superior Court. So that change had to be made procedurally on the warrant because it was first issued to the wrong entity. So served on the wrong entity. So it was then corrected, and then they came back, and that's when the documents began to be loaded.
What is the county doing to essentially secure the security, the integrity of elections there?
Oh, well, we're doing what we've always done. We've made our elections.
Well, that doesn't mean much.
Transparent to all voters. This issue of whether the 2020 ballots were counted correctly is over.
No, it's not. It's not over. It's not over. See, this is what I'm saying. Let me let her say this because I'm gonna let her trigger you a little more. That's why I can't stand these people.
It's been litigated over and over again.
It's been lied about over and over and over again.
And courts have found through numerous litigation cases, through numerous pieces of litigation and cases, that there has been nothing found to have been a problem or illegal about or fraud or any of the allegations in the 2020 election.
Funny you say that. Funny you say that. funny you say that. Oh, that's you? Let me see. It's funny you say that. Well, listen to this.
Fulton County made a stunning admission about the 2020 election. After almost 5 years of assuring voters all procedures were followed, it turns out that may not be entirely true. Now they face some steep fines from the state elections board. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live tonight at the state capitol, where this all came out earlier this month. Doug.
Yeah, good evening, Blair. And those fines could crest $1 million if the state elections board gets exactly what they're asking.
The fines are going to be $1 million+ and even more. Because the same thing that lying dog just said to us, that there was litigation and it was proven and everything was done right, and they're going to continue to do what they've always done, and they're going to continue to keep doing it. Well, they counted over 300 and some odd thousand votes that were fraudulent.
For Fulton County essentially admitted that there were unsigned tabulator tapes. Those are those pieces of paper akin to receipts that come out of the voting tabulation machines that help them verify how many people voted and to make sure that it actually matches the number of votes that were cast. Those are unsigned, and that violates state law. The board also admitted that they were missing some documents tied to.
That they were missing documents against state and federal law, and they counted for 300,000 ballots illegally against state law and federal law, hence the federal criminal search warrant.
2020.
But it's a violation of a rule. They should have done it.
A stunning admission earlier this month from an attorney representing Fulton County's election board.
The tapes that are an issue in this case have been produced. They just weren't signed.
The ticker tapes she's talking about, shown here, are almost like receipts spit out by voting tabulators on election night. State law says they must be signed by poll workers for verification, but some 150 tapes tracking the votes of some 315,000 people during early voting in 2020 weren't signed.
At best, this is sloppy and it's lazy. At worst, it could be egregious, and it could have affected an election.
Some other ticker
No, it did affect an election. It definitely affected the 2020 election. And all Republican candidates lost by the same margin, which is just a statistical impossibility. It's incredibly impossible, yet it happened. And they want you to believe that Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama. This whole shit is a charade. Is a charade, man. That lady know it. All of them know it. And the people who are trying to hide this and then tell you somehow something's wrong or Republicans is abusing their power and all this other stuff is the people who are trying to hide the crimes. This shit is going to blow up in their face. Barack Obama's indictment, you guys, and y'all know people are going to say nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. I be telling you shit and then it happens, right? He don't have immunity. They don't have immunity. All of this happened because of them. They don't have immunity. No, they don't. It was an ongoing conspiracy and criminal enterprise. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay American. And remember, it's both sides. It's been both sides. Two dirty wings in the same dirty, dirty, dirty bird. The man still got a lot of fight left. He got a lot of stuff he still got to fight about. God bless him, you know. But for the MAGA people out there, man, we were right about everything. I've been a patient here now for close to a year. I wanted the best care. I wanted consistent care. Sometimes you can go to places and when you do the reviews, you'll see, oh, you know, it's okay. Well, if this person is working, it's bad. But when you check the reviews on the Smile Doctor, it's all positive. As soon as you walk in the door, I was always made to feel like I was priority. It can give you a great experience. The televisions on the ceilings almost give you a euphoric flying feeling. They find out what music you like. So even the music of choice that you do like, it's playing when you walk in. I had a debilitating tooth issue that was actually going to start eating away at my bone marrow. And Dr. Reed caught it very early on. He removed the bad tooth. The surgery was easy, it was painless. I have two brand new teeth. And like I said, they're very attentive. So they're gonna measure your discomfort, they're gonna measure what pain you may have, and they're gonna deal with it. It's just a beautiful and positive environment. The experience here is unlike anything else I've ever went to, and I just encourage anybody out there, if you're watching this, come see the facility. Come listen to how quiet it is. Come listen to how happy the people are when they're exchanging words to each other. Come experience what it is to actually come and smile with confidence. Come to the Smile Doctor.